everyone, I have a video up where I talk about what my labor was like and how my past trauma affected it, but I thought I could make another video where I more briefly answered frequently asked questions that I get on my birth video. First, I'd like to say Josie was 8 pounds 12 ounces when she was born, and she was 21 1/4 centimeters off the top of my head when she was born. Another question that I get asked a lot is whether or not I had an epidural. I did, but what you don't see in the birth video is I was in labor for about 18 hours before getting the epidural. I went into labor about 2:30 that morning, and then I was induced at around 11 a.m. And then after that, I think I started pushing. It was like at 2 or 3, something like that, because they thought I was ready. But it turns out that I wasn't fully dilated. I was like 9 centimeters dilated. And then from 2 to about 9 or 10, I remained at 9 to 9.5 centimeters dilated. Like my body wouldn't open up that last little bit, which is why I ended up getting the epidural, because I just felt myself getting exhausted. I hadn't eaten since the night prior around 6 p.m. So I was just running out of energy. I could only have clear liquids. Luckily, some hospitals only give you ice chips. So I had Italian ice, Jello, broth, or popsicles. That's all I could eat. Another question that I get asked is about my staff. I used a midwife personally, and the doctor's office that I went to, what they did is they have 4 midwives, and whoever's on call for a specific day of the week would be who would actually deliver your baby. Of course, I ended up getting the one midwife that I did not meet ahead of time, but it ended up being perfect. I was very blessed with my staff. They were very helpful when it came to, when it came to recording. They were great about getting the perfect angle, and then at the end when they're showing the placenta and the sac that Josie was in, the nurse picked up the camera to show a good angle of what was going on. Some other questions I received are questions about the epidural. I got my epidural again really late, so I was feeling a lot of pain when I got it. I've heard that there's different strengths with epidurals. So the one that I got, I don't know the dosage to be honest, but it was very difficult to get it because I was told plain out, if you move while we try to give you this, we will not give you the epidural because it will not be safe. Drew had to hold me in place. I had to get it, and then they said there's a chance that you might be mid-contraction while the needle's in you. You cannot move. And I was very scared because the contractions are hurting so much. With something in my mind said, I need this. I know I don't want a C-section. It just was a personal preference that I had because of recovery time. And I just also hear sometimes with the recovery of C-sections, it can dissuade people from breastfeeding just because they're in so much pain as it is. So I didn't want to do that. And I just got it in my mind, okay, don't move. I don't know how I made it through, but I somehow did. And that ended up fine. But after I got the epidural, there was still sharpness with the contractions. Again, I think it's because I got it so late. So I got another dose of anesthesia. I don't know exactly what it was, but I was told that I could do it every so often if I still felt pain. I only did the one dose, and I chose to not continue getting more because it took the sharpness away, but I didn't want it to take the pressure away. And a big question I get is, how did I stay so calm? I stayed calm during the part of the birth that I uploaded because of the epidural and because the sharpness went away, but also because I was, again, so exhausted. But a big thing is I did feel very supported by my staff, and that did help me a lot. But if you want more details about what the 18 hours or whatever it was before the video, again, I have that video posted in my new mom playlist. And I think I'll also post the video of me pushing for 20 minutes before I actually gave birth. The 20 minutes that I pushed where I wasn't fully dilated yet. And another question I get asked is, did I feel pain? Like, what did delivering feel like for me? For me, it felt like pressure. Like I felt, yeah, that's the best way I could put it. I hope this doesn't make people uncomfortable, but it felt like the sensation of pooping. Like I had to push in that way. And also it really helped that I had a mirror above me. So I had it angled where I could see Josie coming out, and that helped me know if I had to push harder and all that. But also I could tell when contractions were coming. And they were monitoring it as well. So as the contraction was about to start, I could feel the strength of it, and they could kind of see, but I had a better sense of how strong it was based off the sensations in my body, and we timed that up. So that also helped. But something that a couple of people have noticed, and the midwife pointed out as well, is whenever I laughed, that actually pushed Josie out more than me pushing. So that was very interesting. And the comment that I get a lot is people feeling encouraged to record their own birth experience. With this, I would highly recommend that you talk to, if you're using an OB doctor or midwife, talk to them first to make sure that they're comfortable with that, but then also make sure that the hospital that office uses doesn't have any policy that prohibits you from recording your birth. So I would check both with the doctor's office that you're using, whether it's the OB doctor or the midwife, and the hospital. And you can ask the birth navigator this. When it comes time, you'll have to make an appointment with the birth navigator and discuss your birth plan, which I discussed my birth plan first with my midwife, and then I went over it with my birth navigator. The birth navigator makes sure that your preferences can be met if possible. Like I wanted a tub, and they usually reserve that for people who intend to not use an epidural. But I mean, if you end up using an epidural, like I ended up using one, they don't like kick you out the room or anything. But yeah, those were the questions I could remember off the top of my head. If I missed any of your questions that you would like answered, please let me know, and I'll make another video addressing those. And also I put up a post on my channel asking for some video suggestions. So if you have any video suggestions, either leave them here in this video, or you can go to the community post on my YouTube channel and you can add any suggestions you have there.